You feel like there's no one to.
Wow, what a voice. Have you considered quitting your
Music
job in
career
radio
in
and
radio.
just starting a music career?
No, I quit my job in radio.
Then don't
I'm not
consider
doing
it. I'm just saying, just in case you consider it, don't
it.
like stop the consideration.
I can't be an upcoming artist at my age.
I'm telling you, that's what I always say. What do you mean you're an upcoming artist like you're 35?
It depends on
Really?
the kind of music you're pursuing.
I don't
though.
care the kind of music you're pursuing. Like you just say, well, I don't want to discriminate according to age, but what do you mean you're an upcoming artist? It's not the one. It's not even. Do you know the funny thing? Some people are not even good at. They're not good at this thing, and they don't have anybody that will tell
No,
them. They're
but
not great
for all those live band guys, your career can pick
it's
up.
not like I'm not talking about live. You know what I'm talking about, Daniel. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about band. If it's band, of course I'll be your PA. I'll help you. I'll be your manager. But you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But anyways, it's 3 minutes past 9 a.m. this morning.
Yes, so.
On the Blast Rise. And it's our 100th episode of Talking Therapy right here. We have Dr. Michaels.
Dr. Michaels!
Good morning.
Morning. Islamiyah, you're looking lovely in this turtleneck.
Thank you very much. I don't know why
both
of you are very surprised. Do I blush? Can you tell?
No, you won't be able to tell.
You cannot tell. Maybe my blush inside my chest. You not sit on my cheeks.
When I saw the flyer and it says the 100th episode, I was like, I wasn't even keeping count. So you know that it's already 100 episodes already.
Wow.
And when you said it was 100 episodes, I just had to start thinking, and I really cannot really remember our first few episodes. I think the first few episodes before we got into a place where we were very comfortable. The first few episodes were very what's the word? The word is not structured. The word is very arranged. Mm-hmm. We're trying to just get you to talk. We're not trying to interact with you. We're just it was more like we're interviewing you every time you came on the radio.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think it took maybe the 4th or 5th episode, and then we started warming into it, and then we started talking. I think where I remember the conversation becoming more broad was when we started the conversation of terror.
Right.
Thoughts, emotions, words, action.
Right.
And I think that was the place that just sort of opened us to okay, now we can sit with Dr. Michael, we can talk to him. I think we were first very, very shielded at the very beginning when we started, and it just gave us a room, and it became an important part of the show. And I've always said it to you that, so this episode, every Tuesday 9 to 10, we don't even have an idea of the numbers that we do on this alone contributes. I'm sure we're doing over 1 million plus as a station every month.
Right.
But on the clock of the hour, we're doing almost 200,000 to 300,000 every Tuesday morning.
Awesome.
And that's a huge number.
Yeah.
That we're very excited about, and it's
thanks
to you, Dr. Michael.
And thanks to you too, and thanks to Blast FM.
100 episodes.
I mean, I was not here for the first episode. I remember the first episode that I joined in, and I think I remember some of the things that was said.
Right.
It was at the makeshift studio.
Yeah.
I remember January I was there on that day as well, and I've always found it interesting. I mean, I've always seen clips of it. Even before I joined the show, and I've always just loved the idea of it, because I felt like there's a lot of shows talking about your health, your physical health. I know how you always talk about if you are not okay mentally, if you use paracetamol for anything, you will still not. There's something that will still be lacking, and I think that is such a beautiful initiative to bring on the radio, because I mean we always talk about go to therapy, but we don't always talk about the part that not a lot of people can have access to it. I mean, we don't even have a lot of therapists. Not a lot of people even recognize that there's something wrong with them. Not maybe something wrong with them, but there's something that they need to deal with, something they need to unpack. And I think a lot of people don't understand that that's what's informing their behaviors as adults now. They don't understand that this is the reason why they behave the way they do. So 100 episodes, more to come. Thank you. Talking about that, last week Thursday we had a guest in the studio, and we're talking about friendships. And we're talking about the whole unpacking. Friend? Yeah, it was my friend.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're unpacking. I wanted to be professional and say we had a guest on the show. So we're talking about friendships and talking about the.
There was a day was he abusing or insulting you at in the comment section? I'm not sure if you have replied him.
Maybe I'll know, because I don't have time for all of that. What do you mean you come and insult me in my comments? I don't have time for all of that. Anyways, we're talking about sometimes in friendship, friendships are very, different these days. Sometimes people do different kind of things. And I don't think Daniel agrees with this thing where he's like, oh, you should give people grace. So there's sometimes that because somebody is going through maybe some kind of trauma, they end up becoming a really terrible person to other people. So it means even if you are reaching out as a friend, they are probably not seeing you as a friend, probably because they have their guards, or maybe they've been hurt before by a friend, maybe something that they are not able to like deal with. So how can you come from a place where you can help somebody, that is going through something like that is your friend, but they're not allowing you to be their friend because of something that they're probably
Their guards
going
are
through,
up.
or their guards are
So
up
which
or
part don't
something.
I that? Which part
No,
don't
you
I
always talk about giving people chance, and I'm like, if you are going through trauma, go and deal with it yourself. I'm not a therapist. What do you mean because you are going through trauma, you be treating me anyhow, making me because I'm doing friendship, I should come and die.
Okay, so
And that's the
it
part.
doesn't mean that
you
you cannot love them from a
I'm
distance.
not loving you from any distance. Go away. So I want to give the community chance to explain to me why I should love, because I don't believe that if you are treating somebody badly, your excuse should be that, oh, I've been hurt in the past. Oh, I have one trauma. I'm sorry. I'm not your therapist again. Go and figure that out. Because at the end of the day, hurt people hurt people. You might think that because you're trying to raise your guard, you don't know that you are also doing damage to the person that you are behaving that way to.
Yeah.
So why should I choose to be damaged because you are damaged? I don't think that that's something that makes sense. So
True.
bye, thank you. Get
True.
away from here with your winter boots. So
Okay, so I think before
Yeah.
you can say somebody is your friend, you must be able to project into the future to be able to know what the things that the person is capable of doing,
Yeah.
and be able to have a strong grasp of the core of that person
Mm.
before ever saying this is my friend.
Mm.
Once you have been able to do that, whatever the person now ends up doing will no longer shock you.
Mm.
Mm.
You'll be well prepared. And that's what we are trying to ask people to do, that before you get married to somebody, you must have called the person your friend.
Yeah.
And before calling the person your friend, you must have been able to like spend enough time to be able to know the strengths and weaknesses, tendencies of the person. And you must have come to a place where you were able to you are able to tell yourself, okay, I'm able to deal with this person. My negotiables fine, my non-negotiables fine, and then you're able to welcome the person into your life. I currently have 2 clients who are struggling with issues just because of people around them, and the issue is always about recruitment. If Blast FM, like if a company becomes very thorough in the recruitment process, do you know that everybody in that company will align with the mission and vision statement of the company? But the reason why you have people who are not aligning and you have to keep shouting and shouting is because of the recruitment process. There's something wrong with the recruitment process.
It's not always about the here HRs talk about, you want to recruit. There's this thing we do we try with DME to fire or
to fire or to
train. And there have been several reactions from different C. I think there was even one from one of the Tinubu's brothers or so that he did, and everybody was reacting to it in a way. Somebody who is, and he said something was like somebody who is always meeting target but doesn't like to stretch themselves. And I was like, fire, don't train.
So you should have known about that before even recruiting the person.
What if people that like to disguise?
Why don't you have either a psychotherapist or a psychologist or somebody who reads people, a behavioral scientist on your team? It's just like then you are now married to the person. You are now saying, why are you behaving this way? And then you are now trying to fire.
But a lot of CEOs like to employ the kind of people that can serve. Depend on each person that is employing someone knows the kind of person that they want. So while I'm looking at it from a particular perspective as an employee, that this should be like this should be like this, these people should not be here. The employer has his reason for employing those type of people.
Yeah.
So if at the end of the day you attract the kind of people you want.
Yeah. So that's what we are saying. Your business is an expression and an extension of who you are. So at the end of the day, you as the leader of the business will always take the blame. It was just like a small movie that a particular person did, and then she said she was having second thought about the director because she asked me to go through the movie to help her critique or go through the movie and see what she should have done or whatever. So I told her exactly what she also felt, and then she said she was having a second thought about the director, but she ended up, because of empathy. The downside of empathy is saying, don't worry, let me just help the person at your own expense. That's the downside of empathy. So she employed the director, and then the director ended up doing something that was not up to her standard. She should have directed the stuff, but she didn't. So I said, at the end of the day, who's going to get the blame? Not the director, you that employed the director. So it's always about me knowing what a thorough recruitment process is all about in my own life. Once I know that, once I now head my own business or I start my business, I will naturally employ the same principle. So, but if I'm not doing it in my life, I will not be able to do it in a corporate setting. And so you don't necessarily need to have a behavioral scientist or a psychotherapist or a psychologist on your team. Once you have already gone through therapy on your own, or you have been able to practice the same principle in your own life. So if you as a CEO, your recruitment process is faulty in your life, it's going to be faulty in your corporate world.
Back to Samia's question as regards, when you have friends who are very guarded, who are not able to open up to you, and you can see that they need help, but they are refusing to open up to you. I read a quote this morning, and it hits me differently. The person says, where is it? Says, if you don't do anything else, fight everything that is trying to get you to do life alone.
Yeah.
If you don't do anything else, fight everything that is trying to get you to do life alone. You need people. Relationships will open doors for you that money cannot. Bring value into people's life. It will outlive you in the best possible way.
But I can't do well with people if I'm not doing well with myself.
But then how do you help somebody who doesn't know
that they need help?
Because
some people, yes,
like
some people don't know.
Helping that person.
Is the person asking you?
No.
Unsolicited help is not. We advise against it. The person.
But what if the person is? What if the person is self-sabotaging?
Yeah.
Then you have to wait for the person to say, "Please help me."
If they never do, and it leads to it gets to a point where it's dangerous to them. Yeah. It damages them.
It's even damaging them.
But you care about this person. What do you do?
Because
no, you have to wait.
And watch their life.
You have
to wait. And that's what leaders go through, because I will not lie, it's a very terrible experience, waiting for the person to come to the point of knowing that I need help and then ask for help. Okay, how many of the people that you talked to that come, let me advise you, let me tell you, how many of them ended up doing what you asked them to do?
It still boils down to the person has to be the one to ask. One of the people that ask.
So I think so the thing is, what is going to help you to wait is if you focus on your own life. If you focus on your own life, you see that you have gone through that stage. If you have gone through that stage, you will understand what the person is going through. Do you know that understanding will now be a reflection on your relationship with that person, and the person will now notice your patience
with them,
and the person will now come to ask for help.
Yes, I totally agree with you on this one. I've had experiences where I've worked with certain people, and to other people they were difficult to work with, but with me, they're like, how are you doing it with this person?
Because you have gone through, and you understand what the person is going through.
And I'm always trying to, because every time I've had to work with like some difficult people, and I know that some people are difficult to work with.
Yeah,
not even
very true. Very
some
true.
People are actually difficult to work with.
Very true.
But I realized that when I work with them, I'm able to set certain boundaries, and it comes from even me knowing what I want.
Right.
Because knowing what you want is a question that a lot of people don't ask themselves. I've been teaching a beginner class now for about 2 months.
Awesome.
2 months, a beginner class on radio broadcasting and all.
All right.
And I've always put the question out there, do you know who you are?
Awesome.
Half the time in each class, they're always asking me, what kind of questions do I need to ask myself to know who I am? And I start telling them, do you know your likes, your dislikes, what you really like and what you do not like?
Awesome.
And they're always like, I'm always telling them, like, take a piece of paper, write 20 things you like.
Wow. You feel like saying you go start your therapy business anytime.
Because I'm always telling them that if you don't understand these things, you cannot really be able to be creative as you need to be. You would always want to create what other people are doing. You will not really be able to identify. And I had to tell them that I didn't find this for myself in 1 week, but it took consistent work.
You have to start.
It start. And for me, I think one of the ways I even started taking mental health serious was from listening to a radio presenter, particularly do a lot of conversation around mental health. Every time he had a guest, he was always asking them, how do you manage stress? How do you deal with, the downtimes? How do you manage those things? there was a series that I watched that really opened my eyes of understanding. It was Now with Natalie. Now it's on YouTube. It's an old series. She did like a 6-part series talking to people who have gone through life-changing situations where they were publicly shamed. And I know there was this particular guy who was fired from his only job. And having to still, how did he walk through that shame and overcome it and still find themselves? You can find that series on YouTube. It's called Now with Natalie. It's an old series. Natalie, I think, is spelled Natile or something like that. Now with that. And a lot of people are not doing this work. Society is not helping people do this work. Some of us are doing the work, and we now see our friends who are not doing the work. And you're telling us to wait for them.
You have to wait. And it's very
it's
a very painful thing.
For you.
Waiting. I will not lie. Because you see the person that you like, are you not thinking? But if you now look at yourself and see where you are coming from, is it that you have forgotten or you have not gone through the phase that the person is going through? But if you have gone through it and it's very active in your memory, you are going to feel the person's pain, and then literally wait. In fact, even when they start begging you to talk, you're not going to see. You're going to take your time to talk because you are talking from empathy.
Yeah.
So it's either you have forgotten it or you have not even gone through the person's face. But it's just that we are in a society where everybody just calls, hey, come here, let me advise you. Hey, come here. They are not even paying for your whatever. But then it's like you are trying to satisfy your own ego. Because if you talk and then they don't do it, but you're trying to say, so that it will be on record that I told you of what benefit. Why don't you just use the same energy in your own life? And then it will make you to be well grounded, well broken, and then help you to understand what this person is going through, even if you have never gone through what the person is going through. And then the person is not able to see, because we all see.
But how do you then now give what do we call this thing? We call it constructive criticism.
Yeah.
You can't give constructive criticism when you don't understand what is going on.
But what about some people that they've acknowledged that there's a problem, but doing anything about it? No. They are now using it as like a how would I call it now? As an excuse for maybe some of the things that they do. Like they found out that, okay, maybe when I was small, my daddy used to beat me when I hit my head on the floor, something, you know. They know, like they can tell that this is the reason why I feel like this. This is the reason. I know that the reason why I'm acting like this, why maybe I am somebody that I get upset very fast, you know, I say all the things that hurt other people. They've been able to understand that that's what is the cause, that's what's the cause of the problem. But to now do anything about it is what they've decided that they're not going to do anything about it.
Can I ask you why you are this passionate about this person? Because this person is not here.
We
are the ones that are here.
Yes.
And this person is our friend.
Yeah.
So the therapy session is for us, not for the person. So why are you passionate about this? It is this person's life, not your life.
You love yourself.
So because Dr. Michael,
are we going from that angle as you love yourself?
Because if you love yourself, you also want to see your neighbor.
So the reason why I'm asking this thing is because I've seen this play out like over time, like we're almost like everybody. There's just that thing where like you see people behave a certain way, maybe even in the workspace. There's just always that one person that, you know, just treats people anyhow, you know, or maybe people that have friends and then eventually, you know, the friendship does not go the way you thought it was going to go because there's somebody that probably had like a problem and they are using that to inform like their behavior towards you.
What I'm saying is this therapy session, this question is very valid and very good. But we are the ones that need the therapy session, not that person. You know why? The person is not here. The person does not feel he or she needs therapy. The person is not here. So that's what we always do. So let the searchlight be on us. Number one, how did you end up with this person?
As friends?
Yes.
Maybe
why?
When you went to the same school.
You understand? Like you need to start asking yourself, why did I even end up?
So,
or is it the teacher in you? Can you see where I'm pointing? Can you see where is the teacher in you that wants to be the teacher of everybody? Maybe because you have not been teaching students, you have look at everybody. Daniel, you're my student. General manager, you're my student.
The thing is, I will not really care if I don't know you.
What's the reason? What's the driving force behind this?
But sometimes friendship just happen, right?
Like, why are you passionate about this person?
It's not a person. I'm just saying because it's something that I've.
No, let's assume it's a
Let's
person.
assume it's a person. There's
Because they're my friend. That's probably why. Because the person is my
How does
friend and
that
I care
affect
about
you?
the person.
You care about the person.
Because the things that the people that you care about do would affect you. If people,
Exactly.
If
So
people
we're
that you
going
don't care about will
so
not
the,
like affect
the
you as
therapy
much.
session will help me to understand the person,
Okay.
and 2 will help me to know how to respond to the person. That's all.
So the person is the badly behaved person, but I'm the one that is receiving therapy.
You get my point.
You dey collect paracetamol for another person headache.
No, be you bring out the person's matter.
Yeah.
Now you're the one using your therapy time that you paid for.
Yes.
To collect headache, paracetamol for another person's headache.
In a situation of family.
Okay, that's another example.
I know my parents felt like I was troublesome. You know, I was very hot-headed as a young kid. I was hot-tempered. I disagreed on the most basic things. I didn't agree with. I didn't want to conform. I think it was yesterday we were talking. One of my sisters, my wife's sister.
By the way, I see your sister on TikTok. Faith.
Yeah. Faith.
You guys look alike.
Oh my god, have you seen Daniel's brother? I stumbled
David.
upon his page.
Is it
I was
David?
like,
Yes,
what's
David.
manner
I've
of
not seen him.
Your parents had the same baby like 3 times. Just the same face. Papa. I was like, who is this person that looks like Daniel so much? But yeah, continue what you're saying.
So when you think of this, where parents are raising teenagers and they are worried as to how their teenagers are going to turn out, right? And they are talking to the teenager is not listening. I think in my case, it's kind of like different because I disagreed with the things they wanted me to do. I'll give you an example. I finished secondary school. I wrote the first jam. I didn't get admission, and they wanted me to go and learn something. And then they wanted me to go and learn barbing. And at the point, I was like, no, I'm not interested in learning barbing. I would rather learn fashion design than learn barbing. And it became a whole big issue that I'm stubborn. I don't want to learn. I don't want to listen to anybody. I'm just this, that. And things like that happen for parents who are raising, because now it's even more difficult to raise teenagers in today's technology world. How do you now advise parents to approach the conversation of managing the temperament of their teenager? Because sometimes some teenagers are displaying behaviors that the parents themselves cannot understand why this child is displaying this behavior.
Yeah.
Especially with boys now. The International Boys Day was on Saturday, right? And there are a lot of parents who cannot really understand why their teenage boys are behaving like this. Why are you involving yourself in this? Why are you doing this? And the parents are confused. They're like, is it that we're not feeding you? Is it that we're not providing for you? Then why are you behaving like this? In some situations, the children maybe turn out to be artistically great, but there's a period where the parents are extremely worried that child might not turn out well.
Okay, let's first of all say that there's no child that does not have the capacity to turn out well. But it starts from the parents understanding that this child came from me.
Okay.
And everything that you did before giving birth to that child, you already passed on to that child.
But some parents,
or let's say a part of it.
Some bad
a part of
behavior
it.
that some teenagers are displaying. It's not their parents that give them.
No, even like some adults, like some bad behavior. There's just something about bad behavior. Yes. Have you not seen people that are badly behaved?
Okay, wait. Please, okay, where did the child drop from heaven?
Not drop from heaven, Dr. Michael. But that bad behavior, I do not think it.
The bad behavior that we're talking about has genetic components and environmental components. So from the genetic component, it came from the parents, except if the child was adopted. So the question is, you as a parent, have you been able to go through yourself? Have you gone through self-analysis, self-discovery to know that you have those things? Some parents are living in denial.
That they have those things. Yes,
they are not aware because it takes a lot of analysis to know certain things, that you have certain things. It takes a lot.
Okay. A child is stealing.
I think we talked about this thing.
A child is stealing. The parents probably
let me ask you, have you stolen?
The parents probably have never stolen.
Have you stolen before? Me, I have stolen meat from the pot. Have you stolen before?
Meat is different from
Is it not stealing?
Okay, a child is doing fraud.
No.
A child is doing fraud. A teenager.
It started from the parents stole meat and then the child takes it further. Do you know? Yes.
From meat to fraud.
Like my mother is a lab scientist.
Okay.
I took it further to medicine. Your dad is a pastor. You have taken it further to engineering, studio stuff, production wise.
Okay.
You can't, whatever the child has, whatever you give the child is a seed.
Meat now, meat in the
Is that not how you used to start?
Somebody's meat.
Are you saying
Is
that people should
it
be
somebody's
stealing
meat? Your parents' meat.
But okay, the child was corrected as a child for doing
Correction
that.
does not solve the genetic component or the environmental component. You have to be able to go down to the person correcting has to understand that what is happening to this child has a genetic component, and the genetic component is from you, the parents. Have you dealt with it? Because if you have not dealt with it, you won't be able to correct that child in the way that will be effective in the child's life. You just say, don't take drugs. It's not enough to prevent the child from taking drugs. Something is making that child to steal. And that thing is already inside the child. And it came from you or the mother. Why did you marry? You married a wife that you don't even know a lot about. You did not steal. What about the mother? Has she giving you the full story of her life? How many of us go through, how many people go through thorough analysis of the person you want to get married to before getting married? You marry the person, you're now questioning the child you gave that came from the union.
Because I'm saying this because a lot of parents are seeing their children exhibit behaviors that even if they sit down with themselves, they really cannot understand how that came from them.
Then they should seek therapy, because that's what we are saying. We are saying that you have to be able to start from what are my likes, what are my dislikes.
Okay.
Why do I behave the way I behave? Or there's a book, Why You Act the Way You Do or something, by, I've forgotten his name, Tim LaHaye, I think. Okay. So you need to be able to ask, why do I shout? Why is it that sometimes I just become quiet? Do you know that you are stubborn?
Yes.
You know, okay, so we should now analyze. Okay,
so
you know that now that you are stubborn, and you are now publicly on national radio saying that you are stubborn.
Yes.
It means that you have come to that point.
Yes.
And then you are most likely working on it.
I think I've been able to understand my stubbornness to be dogged.
So that means that you can control it.
Yes.
But how can you control something you don't know? So it starts from the simple basic stuff. Why do I shout? Why is that sometimes I shout and then sometimes I just keep quiet? Why is that sometimes I shout throughout the whole, I keep on shouting up and down, running after people? Why do I sing? Why do I love singing? It's not everybody that loves to sing. Why do I like studio stuff? Why do I like production? Why do I like turtleneck? Let's assume that she likes it. Yeah. There's a reason why she likes it, and it's part of her DNA.
Yeah, so all the good things we can always trace.
Yeah. Why is it?
What about the bad
so why is it the bad thing that you don't want to trace? Okay. I'm looking at it.
See the trace.
So what about? I know for some parents, right? I think
see the trace of how we.
Okay. See, do you know the thing is? I think that some parents don't.
No. Your child. No.
Because the parents.
Your child should be your mirror.
What about parents that you don't see them manifest it physically, but there's something,
it's already there.
Maybe that parents had this thing where they are always, chesting some things.
Nigerian
they have
parents.
some certain things that they will just be holding.
You will not know.
You will not know because you don't get to see them as a person. You just get to see them as your parents. But maybe when they are with the people that know them as a person before they had you. They will exhibit some certain behaviors that you had no idea that your parents were capable of doing. Like for example, my mom and my dad, they are different people. They're different people when they are with their siblings, and I'm like, oh,
exactly.
Like when I get to see, I'm like, oh, I did not know that. My mom, for example, she can go hours without saying one word. Like you can stay like 3 days with my mom and she will not say anything, just good morning, good evening. But like when she's with her siblings, like she talks better. Like she just
she grew up with them. It's expected.
No, it's not about. I wish it was that. I just realized that because I know, and it's just recently that we now started having conversations. I just realized that because of the fact that she's a different person they know her, like they call her name. I call her mommy. They know her as a person before she's my mother. So she there's some certain things that she feels like she has to do. My father, the same thing. There's some certain things that he feels like he has to do as well as a father to me. And I realized that when I see them outside of the fatherhood role, like when they're with their people, it's a different, like when my father and his friends are playing, I'm like, this man is capable of doing stuff. He's laughing at people's jokes. I'm like, wow, that's very weird to see you in that light. So I think maybe sometimes they just don't manifest it. It's possible that they don't manifest it. Maybe I already know there's some character traits that I show, and I know that it's for my daddy, I get it, so for my mommy. But you don't see them necessarily exhibiting some of those behaviors. I just know because I can tell from the way they handle some situations sometimes.
Yeah.
And some people have repressed it, some people hide it
So I think it's that
or not.
repression that happens in some cases where it's like a repression. So because they like, oh, I'm responsible for you.
Yeah.
So they're saying like you're not supposed to see me in this way.
And what I tell people is what you see, your perception of me from afar should also be your perception of me when you move close.
Perception of me from afar should also be your perception when I move close. So if I think of you as a not good person, when I move close, that perception should not change.
It shouldn't change.
Why? But they say that sometimes the first impression might not necessarily be. I might know you from afar, and I used to think of you as maybe you were too uptight or this. That is different.
But that means that there's something. You are living two double lives. You are living two lives or double lives, and it's not going to be helping you. You know why I like social media? Authenticity is a powerful thing, because authenticity is you aligning yourself with your true self. Look at that. I always give example of Baba Shoyinka and Obasanjo. I think what you see from afar is what you get
when you get close.
Look at Trump too. If you maybe you don't like him, maybe you like him, but everybody keeps saying what you see is actually what you get when you move close to him. And those guys are living long, and they are doing well. So I know I won't mention the person's name. The person is no more a musician, and he packaged his life, but he now ended up packaging his music life correctly, but he did not apply that principle to his own personal life. That would affect the person's physical health. It will affect the person's finances. It will affect the person's different aspect of the person's life.
They live two different lives.
And it's not healthy to live two different lives. And I will not, let me say the truth, it takes a lot, actually, a lot of maturity to be oneself.
Oh, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Because I'm thinking about two different lives, and I realized I lived a lot of two different lives, especially in my uni days. I dealt with a lot of, I think it clocked for me in 2017 that there was something called, I think that was the first time I heard the word identity crisis.
Right.
I was like, what the? When they broke it down, when I watched that video and they broke it down, like, this is me. This is me. This is so me. This is me. I have not really been able to live my true self for the longest of time. I've always lived off the identity of who I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be a pastor's child. You can't behave like this. You can't do this. You're supposed to be this, that. But who do I really want to be? I can't be that person.
Yeah, it takes the person's happiness away.
It takes away your happiness. Like you really, even in the little things that are supposed to bring you joy, you just see yourself not being able to find joy in those little things.
And whatever takes your happiness away takes away innovation, creativity, wealth, riches, physical health, good relationship. I was telling the client that if you have fake friends around you, you attracted them, by the way, because of the double lives that you live. You won't be able to attract true friends. To be able to bring in true friends, you need to first of all get rid of the fake friends.
And you also need to become a true friend. Because friendship is hard.
Yes.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Friendship is hard. Why are people now jumping into marriage? You understand? You get my point.
I used to tell that people don't like each other, they marry each other. And he's like,
yes.
They play.
Friendship is, you see how friendship, look, now imagine what marriage is.
It's not concerning that these are the people that would have children. What happens with the children that they have?
You
will see some adults and you're like, you're not supposed to have children.
Exactly.
So, okay.
Because if you have children,
okay. Dr. Michael, we're linking everything from children back to their parents and and all of this thing. The sad story happening in Bumosho,
yes.
In Bumosho. The kidnappers, for example, that are involved in this crime. How is that a reflection of the home they come from? Or the parent? How is that genetic? Environmental, we can understand. Poverty in Nigeria, lack of access to basic amenities, no jobs, people taking advantage of their vulnerability to tell them to carry arms and kill people.
First of all, you need to know the cause of what is their motive before you are able to be able to get the correct answer to the question you're asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the motive of this particular group?
What if the motive that we know is not the motive that is really their motive?
Exactly.
Because they're telling you that, oh, they don't want girls to go to school. That's how Boko Haram started.
Of
They
course.
don't want girls to go to school.
But that might not be their real motive.
At the core of it, that was not their motive.
Yes.
Their motive was the mineral resources that
You
were
get my
available
point.
in the lands that they were. That's why Zambiza Forest today.
There's this book called Born on a Tuesday, and it's basically like a book, describing it's a fiction, but it's talking about like the Almajiri system and how the boys end up like doing things like this. So from the guise of religion is where, so I think I wrote some quotes down from the book. It's very funny that so the boy was talking about somebody dying and saying that sometimes even then that they were beating somebody and the person died. And it was sometimes even then we just let it go on because no one dies except it's Allah's will. And then it says, see how Allah does things. We did not even beat him too much. We are beating people worse and they did not die. But Allah chooses who lives and who dies. Not me, not us. These boys were not even going to the mosque to pray or anything. But there was that conditioning of, since they gave birth to them, they are boys, they send them to Arabic school in another state. And the parents don't ask about them because they don't even have food to feed them. They don't have food to feed them. So they just send them that the person is supposed to be taking care of them. That person conditions their mind and tells them, and the person doesn't take care of them as well. So they have to go outside to look for food. So they have that belief. So of course it's the belief that the parents have as well, that, oh, this thing is God's doing.
It's only poor man.
So it's still the conditioning. It's still the conditioning from their PC. It's a belief system that was, I think, it has been carried over.
Yeah.
But why is the rich conditioning the poor to think like that?
I think the poor, you have to. I think maybe you have to get to maybe you have to get to know yourself as a poor person, even because if a rich person is telling your identity, they were telling the boys what to do.
Can I shake
even the
identity be?
Even the politicians were using them during the elections. So every time they needed them during the elections was when they would be friends with them.
Yes.
Do you understand? And they were not doing it for their children. They knew about the fact that they were not doing it for their children were not there.
Yes.
In fact, I think the boy fell in love with one of the imam's daughter. And the imam was like,
why is it that rich people don't like marrying poor people?
Yes, ma'am.
They don't like living in where poor people live. Why do you think so? Conditioning.
That's why a local government chairman that is supposed to be in the local government, you can't be living in Bodija.
Yeah, it's programming because the programming you get in Bodija estates or all these beautiful estates is different from the conditioning you get.
State governor that lives in Abuja.
You don't want to be disturbing yourself with all those things.
No, I know, but I'm just trying to emphasize on this because it's really interesting to hear how we have been able to link all of this back to the home. But then they say you break curses, you break barriers.
Oh, and that's now where you as an adult
Can I shake?
I think that's where you as an adult come in, which is one of the things that I've come to realize that, I mean, you might talk about the fact that, oh, this happened when I was growing up, that happened, but it's a choice that you have to make for yourself. Some people don't make that choice. That's why they probably keep that's why they keep carrying it over, and then they will still have children, and then it's a cycle that goes on and on. So you have to just get to the point where you realize that, oh, I think the reason why I'm like this is because this happened. This is how my parents, have trained me. I mean, the reason why you are the person that you are now, you came to a point where you realize that, oh, the reason why I'm behaving like this is because of this, and I don't want to behave like that anymore because it's causing problems for my life.
Where is that bell?
when you begin to make that realization and you begin to come to the understanding that, okay, I am this way because of how I have been raised.
Yeah.
All right?
Which is absolutely true.
Which is true. And you want to break free from that pattern. But you now struggle to break free from that pattern. What do you say to that person?
First of all, it's a normal thing. And anybody who has gone through self-discovery analysis or whatever has gone through that point where it's painful. It's just like a cupboard that you don't want to open because if you just open it, it's going to be full of. But you have to open it anyway. And if you don't open it today, you have to open it tomorrow. Why don't you open it today? Because what is happening to you now is as a result of you not opening that cupboard. And I want to tell you something. When people the reason why we discourage self-medication is if somebody has a particular symptom and the person takes drugs to silence the symptom. The symptom is supposed to tell the doctor where the real problem is. The symptom is not the real problem. There's an underlying problem that is. So the symptom is your body's way of telling you that one, you need to reach out to your doctor, and number two, you need to increase your Gavi.
Yeah.
So now the same thing applies to life challenges. when people face a life challenge, the first thing they want to do is to quench the fire. That should not be your first. Because just like advising people against self-medication, don't go and take paracetamol immediately you have a headache. Go and see your doctor.
Yeah.
So the same
Know
way,
the source of the headache.
yes, don't silence it. That cough is just telling you that there's something happening in your respiratory tract. You silence it with all those. Yeah, when you now go to doctor will now be looking for, might be looking, that will just help the doctor sharp. So now your life challenge, don't be quick to pour water and silence it.
Quench it.
That life challenge is there to tell you where your attention should be now, or ahead of time.
Do you, because of time?
But do you understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Would you advise somebody who is in the process of discovering who they are?
Yeah.
To talk to their parents?
Yes. Because some people, even whether your parents are educated on this subject or not, is not even the case. Like I saw a guy in secondary school. Okay. So you want to hear where you want to be able to follow through the journey of your parents and know how far they have gone in their own lives. And then be able to now say, okay, this is the total understanding of my dad and my mom. And then from there, you will now be able to say, okay, I need to get additional knowledge about what is happening. But if you are yet to talk to your parents, how will you know the height or the limit of your parents' knowledge? Do you understand what I'm saying?
So it's a must that you talk to your parents.
Whether they're educated on psychological stuff or not, you have to be able to talk with them, because you will also hear one or two things that might be answers to your questions, or that might also stir up a question within you that you then go for therapy. So don't run away
from having conversations with them.
You need to constantly, because you will hear it in their voices, you will hear it in the conversation, you hear it in what they say, and then since you are from them, you know that, so parents must see their children as mirrors, then children too must see their parents as mirrors.
I do see my parents as mirrors.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to sit down with my parents and have a conversation.
I think
I don't think
for me, it's just
why?
On a lot of issues, on a lot of reasons. Even to date. Okay, so when I first told I didn't directly tell my dad I wasn't going to church anymore. I didn't exactly tell him directly. I just started off with, "Did you go to church today?" I did not. "Why didn't you go?" I didn't feel like going. You should go next.
That was what you told him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't feel like going. And then I think there was one day he wanted me to go. So I was like, "Okay, Daddy, I don't believe in this thing that you are this method of relationship with God. I don't believe in this method of relationship."
But did you tell him that? But I still have a relationship with God.
Well, I didn't tell him that. But we just basically it was his methods that I was like, okay, I agree with you on this, but on this one, I don't agree with you. I don't believe that this is the only way to get things done or get what you want out of life.
Do you know that you would have helped him a lot by just telling him, but I still have a relationship with God? Do you know that would, because now he feels that you don't even believe in God.
Believe in God at all.
Yeah.
Whereas even me, I know that you believe in God.
Yeah.
But that does not know that you believe in God. So he's disturbed now.
Oh.
But if you just call him and say, "Dad, I believe in God," and then you tell him, just maybe if your method is talking to God, and just say, "I talked to God this morning."
Yeah.
Do you know that will go a long way in initiating the conversation that will end up helping even him?
I think I would try that.
So I think for me, when I had the conversation, it was a very hard conversation that my dad and I didn't talk for months after.
Should I give this chair?
Because of the conversation that we had. It was very hard. Because I just told him, like, the way you be acting, why you be acting this way? And I said all of those things, and I remember that we didn't talk for like months after, because he was shocked. He was very shocked, because like he was like, why would you say all of those things to me? And I'm like, why would you act the way you act, and you don't even know, probably what I'm going through, and you don't even know like the weight of some of the things that you say.
Jesus.
And I remember that I didn't like it, and he was very concerned. I think he called the family meeting on my head, and why did you talk to your daddy that way? What did you say? So I think I had written a poem, something about, I wrote a poem, and in that poem the character killed their dad. And my dad said I wanted to kill him, And I was like, "Oh, this girl hates me so much." And I'm like, why exactly do you think I hate you? Why do you feel that way? He was not able to respond to me. But I realized that he's more open to wanting to sit down with me and have like conversations after that time. Even though we didn't talk for months after, I was like, okay, no problem. Like he's more open to now want to talk about some things with me. He doesn't, I noticed that he does not know how to like have those conversations. And because he's the father, he does not expect that I'm the one that is supposed to say those things to him as a child, because he's the father and he's the one that knows what is right and what is not right. So I realized that he felt like, oh my God, I don't even know, this is what I've been doing and this is what has been happening. But he doesn't know how to handle he doesn't know how to handle that conversation, because he's never had to have that kind of conversation. So it was hard for him.
On behalf of Daddy, thank you.
Yeah, what's interesting for me is, especially for some of our parents who are quite religious, it's interesting how they read the holy books and not even realize that the holy book itself, in its writing, has some form of therapy writing inside of it.
Awesome. Daddy needs to hear that.
The letters of Timothy to Paul to the apostles, all those things were literally somebody writing how they feel.
Awesome.
And then sharing it. That became...
Daddy, are you listening? Are you listening to your son?
That became, quote and unquote, the word of God. The same thing with the Quran. You read some of the writings in the Quran and you can tell that this was somebody...
Very intellectual stuff.
Intellectual things. Even contextualizing how their heart was heavy.
Awesome.
The one that I remember just popped in my head now is when Jesus was on the cross and said, "Have you forsaken me?" Because at that point, you're talking to your father and telling your father, "Have you forsaken me?"
Right.
And then the Bible describes that God could not even look at Jesus at that time.
Wow, this is where the drum piano comes in.
You read the book of like Revelations, for example. That's somebody describing how dark and how
David, please share this with Daddy. Of it.
Revelation is a very dark book. If you read the book of Revelation very well, you will understand that this guy was writing from like a bad dream. You experienced a bad dream and then you're able to contextualize that bad dream into words. And it was in writing it down that you found the solace to now find the solution to the end of the bad dream.
Right.
So I think we need to probably sit down with our parents.
I think with my mom is a different. It's more easy with my mom. Like,
but who are you close to? Who are you close to?
I'm close to my mom.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
But girls, I have this thing.
I'm not the first girl. My sister is the first girl, so she probably has that thing. But I'm more close to my mom now, and I was never close to any of them.
Who do you have things more in common with?
My daddy.
Even me, I would say it's your daddy. I don't live with you. No, it was a trap. It was a trap I said for you. I was waiting for you to say it's your mom. I was saying no, it's your daddy.
No, my mom is like.
So do you now know? Can you now see why you directed emotions, heavy emotions to daddy, because you were trying to tell daddy that I have a lot in common with you.
Yeah.
And don't you see where you are going? Don't you see that you are taking me where you are going to? You were saying you were trying to say a lot with those. So the heavy emotion you should not underestimate it.
So talk to your parents, kids.
Talk to your parents, kids.
I don't know. Maybe
you might get some slaps.
Maybe. Maybe you might be. But I think they would understand.
At the beginning, you might get a slap.
I think now what they will not realize, they will just need to they not start to see you as a person who has like your own thoughts.
Right.
So it might not be comfortable. So what I realized that sometimes it's not comfortable, because sometimes you're like, oh, my mom does something, and like, why did you do? And
I think you should put yourself in the shoes of your parents too.
Another thing that
how would I love someone to tell me?
Yeah. So I think when I did the work with the therapist and whatever, and we were having one of our therapy session, and one thing that she told me, and she was like, you have to learn how to forgive your parents, because they are like different people from you. Like that they are a person. They're like human beings. Separate. And whatever it is that they do, like is they have done it. Like, you don't have to internalize it so badly. Maybe your dad and your mom have whatever. That is their own life. Like, it's their life. It's not your life.
For the very first time too.
For me, so I'm doing life for the very first time.
Yeah, that's why you have to forgive them, because
they should forgive me now. All of us are doing life. Who is doing it? Is anybody doing life for the second time?
Do you know that? Do you know the person you should have a strong relationship with? Your dad.
Call me up. Call me. Let's talk. Call me up. We'll talk. No worries.
Oh my God.
You know that you need him more than he needs you?
Really?
It's probably 90 or is it 70 or it's close.
Like that.
Yeah, but he's older than you.
Yeah.
You need him more because you are still young.
Okay. You say so.
You say so.
I have a feeling that Islamiyah will call that and you will call him out and you won't tell us.
It's a very hard.
Very, very hard.
We need to wrap this conversation now.
Very hard.
Yeah. But for a lot of for the listener who is listening now, and they know that from today's conversation, they need to sit down with their parents. They need to have a conversation. some people have very terrible experiences.
Very, very
where
terrible.
Their parents,
Sexual abuse
there's,
even by your parents.
There's this podcast, Free the People, and they were talking about painful experiences they've had with their parents, and then some things that changed for them later on. The girl talked about how her mom used to beat her so much as a child.
Wow.
Right? And when she grew up, she asked her mother why. The mother didn't really have an explanation as to why she was extremely hard on her like that. But she had an experience changed their relationship was when she had to do a surgery. And for 3 days, she had to be in the hospital, and her mom didn't leave her side.
Exactly.
Her mom didn't leave her side for that. And she was like, the same woman that beats me so much.
Exactly.
That was, she was like, there was no time she turned while she was in the hospital
that she
didn't see her mom. So it's difficult to have this conversation. And for somebody who is hard-hearted, what would you say?
The conversation should come from the fact that, because I like this, what you just said now. The conversation should come from the fact that they love me. Do you know that the way you are going to talk when you have come to understand that they love you is going to be different from when you are yet to know that they love you.
That they love you. Oh, yes. I think I clocked it when I turned 30. Like, these people actually love me. I can't forget. It was my 30th birthday. And they told me that money. That was when I really like, these people actually love me. Oh.
They love us. So.
Like, and I think I would love for us to do this maybe next week. Let's talk about parents as well. And I think that parents sometimes don't like to admit that they are doing something that is bad. They can see sometimes that, this thing has spiraled out of my control, and they don't know how to admit it and how to, because they are the parents. So maybe we would pick up this conversation maybe next week or some other time. So let's talk about the parents. I mean, we've talked about the children and how they need to have the conversation, but sometimes some parents need to also initiate that type of conversation with their children as well. So maybe we'll talk about this next. It's been interesting.
Thank you.
100th episode for a reason.
Yeah.
This was really great.
Michael,
Thank you so much.
I still can't believe that we have 100 episodes together.
Awesome.
I am humbled
that
we have 100 episodes together. It has been these conversations every Tuesday morning. We get comments, we get feedback all the time from different listeners who just say their minds on the radio.
Wow.
I know that it's a very humbling conversation that we need to do a live show, Dr. Michael.
Right.
We need to do a live show.
Right.
We need to do a live show.
Right.
We need to do a live show.
Right.
I think it has to be something like this.
Islamiyah should wear turtleneck.
Like this conversation that we have, because I think there are a lot of people that are struggling with the same things with their parents, with themselves.
You know what? We're gonna me and my boys for the Jollof Men Father's Day, we're working on something. Okay. And I think while talking to you now, it dawned on me what the theme of that conversation should be. So that might be our entry into having men filled in a room.
Right.
Ahead of in the year.
So people know that's me.
No, you
say men filled. I'm not a man.
But for women who want to understand how men think. Islamiyah, please talk to daddy. Call daddy. And then take a picture today.
We don't live in the same city.
No, take a picture and send to him.
No, let's send to you. But I just wanted to take a picture today.
Oh, okay.
Take a look at yourself.
Then call daddy.
Alright. I can't talk to him. Thank you so much.
Are you for me for daddy? I don't understand.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Michael.